This is the list of top 10 GPUs in 2024 according to Steam's hardware survey. Notice something, none of them are from AMD. Look at this chart. In Q1 of 2024, Nvidia had almost 88% of the discrete GPU market when AMD had only 12. And now it has been confirmed that AMD is not going to make any high-end GPU for the next generation. So that begs the question, is this the end of AMD GPUs? Let's talk about that. And this always wasn't the case, because in 2020, the RX 580 was one of the top 10 GPU in Steam's hardware survey. And in Q1 of 2020, AMD had almost 30% of the GPU market. So what happened in the last 4 years? A lot. After acquiring ATI in 2006, AMD became the de facto budget alternative for gamers. The Radeon R9 290X was $150 cheaper compared to Nvidia's GTX 780 Ti and offered very competitive, even in some cases better performance with day one DX12 support. And over the time, AMD improved the GPU's gaming performance with drivers update, and gamers started calling it AMD fine wine technology. But then AMD launched Fury X. With HBM memory, they thought they could take on Nvidia once again, but they were wrong. Very wrong. So they tracked back and only launched mid-tier GPUs for their Polaris-based 400 and 500 series, and it was a huge success for AMD. But AMD tried to make flagship killer GPUs with their GCN architecture once again, and they tried twice to compete with GTX 1080 Ti and RTX 2080. And Vega 64 was a good option at $499, but not really being able to compete with GTX 1080 Ti and its higher power consumption didn't really pave the way for success. And wait for Vega, they said. Radeon 7 on the other hand was just a paper launch while lacking a lot of feature compared to RTX 2080, and that's what happened in last 4 years. A lot of features. AI technologies have become a very important part in the gaming industry. Graphics have significantly improved, and ray tracing is still so demanding that GPUs still need upscaling and frame generation. And AMD is still playing catch up, although the last 3 generations of RDNA GPUs were good, but the problem with AMD is they are very bad at devising a plan and sticking by it. With RX 5000 series GPUs, AMD made a few key decisions. Split the GCN architecture into 2 separate ones, RDNA and CDNA. RDNA will be focusing on higher IPC and better power consumption, and CDNA will cater towards data center and HPC. 5000 series also wasn't trying to compete with high-end Nvidia GPUs, and it clearly worked. So AMD tried to get in the high-end market once again with their RX 6000 series GPUs, and the RX 6900 XT was a proper flagship killer. And then AMD launched RX 7000 series, a proper successor of RX 6000. We got to see improvement in performance with both rasterization and ray tracing, and we also got better power consumption. But with 7000 series, AMD not only tried to play catch up with Nvidia in terms of performance, but they also tried to play catch up with Nvidia in terms of price too. And in the whole lineup, only the RX 7800 XT made sense at its launch price. But neither 6000 or 7000 got to see the market adoption that AMD thought it would. AMD was trying to beat Goliath with muscle, and it's never going to work. Yes, AFMF, FSR, anti-lag are good alternative of DLSS, but their brute force method don't make them perfect. And now finally AMD is trying to confront all that. FSR 4 will use AI. AMD will not make any high-end GPUs with their RDNA 4 architecture, and moving forward they are combining RDNA and CDNA into one architecture called UDNA. I think this is the best strategy for AMD moving forward if they stick by it. They want to capture the 40% of the GPU market, and it is possible. It is not impossible, but it is very hard. I see people complaining that AMD is not going to make any high-end GPUs anymore. Well, given the option, most people would choose high-end NVIDIA GPUs rather than high-end AMD GPUs because the developer support is on NVIDIA side, and it's not like that AMD will not make any high-end GPU moving forward. We are just not going to see any high-end GPU for upcoming generation. But if you ask me, I think AMD should only stick with low to mid-tier GPUs for at least 2 more generations. They need to lock in power efficiency, ray tracing performance, and AI features in the low to mid-tier market where NVIDIA is clearly not focused that much. NVIDIA will focus how great of an improvement 5080 is and how powerful the 5090 can be. And we are definitely not going to see mid to low end GPUs from NVIDIA at least for 6 months after they introduce the 50 series. So if AMD plays their cards right, they could have a chance to grab most of the low to mid-tier market. Yes, it still won't be 40% of the market, but it still would be very close. And talking about UDNA, it will give AMD the incentive to make high-end GPUs. If there is only one architecture need to be developed, then they could make a high-end GPU chip which will cater to HPC market, and then they could refine it and introduce it as a gaming chip. They have done it with Epic and Ryzen CPUs. They know how to do that. People have mixed feelings about UDNA, but trust me, if I were one of the higher ups of AMD, I wouldn't be thinking about making a new strategy. I would be thinking about if someone is interested on the Radeon brand. And the reason AMD's GPU division is still floating because they have almost all of the console and handheld market in their hand. In that market, they are the Goliath. And after reading Tom's Hardware interview with Jack Yu, I think moving forward, AMD's major focus will be console and in the handheld market. But for that, we need to wait to see what happens, what AMD does moving forward, and it will surely be interesting. I want the good old days to come back where making videos about GPUs was fun and unpredictable. But until then, you can like this video if you liked it. If you haven't, well, feel free to dislike and let me know in the comment section what do you guys think about AMD's recent strategies. And if you want to watch more videos from us, check out this video right here. And if you want to subscribe, which I highly appreciate if you do that, well, do it right by here. And there's Akash, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.